Previously on Chosen Ones, Estelle and Brandy continue their conversation in the privacy of one of the studies, their strange exchange indicating Estelle knows quite a bit about the tiefling's past. She asks for him to stay at the compound for now, despite the Darkborn Queen being nearby. Shui and Titus converse briefly before Wynn calls Avayath away to talk to the Keeper, Flynn. Flynn invites Avayath to the Prime Capital to become a royal guard, informing him that his friend Rue is already there. He offers Avayath a rare black sapphire as a token of good faith, which the Asmer politely turns down. As curfew approaches, Shui and Libers get ready to start their first training session, going to a place they know will be safe. Jackrabbit's Keep.
Break me down, we keep fracturing, so you'll forget your place and never find grace. Fly me away before the clouds are paid, soon we will lose our wings within the storm. Breathe me in, take what's left of me. I lose my mind to fate, I cannot disgrace. Heart beating hard, erase your belief. I will destroy what's left, no matter where. Get with the tune, I need the shadow in this sea. Come to the page, the curtains rising soon.
Shui's just kind of looking around like, wow, this place is pretty, wow. Shui's kind of like pouncing off, not going too far from Libris, but like he sees something, he'll like, ooh, and then he like goes over there.
And she kind of runs up to you very quickly and she's like, actually, so here's the thing. Before he comes back, we should, I thought this was going to be a lot harder, but he's gone now. We're so lucky. And she's like laughing and is like starting to like jump away. And you can see that she is heading towards that dark area that he specifically told you not to go to last time. We'll have to be quick.
Oh, Master Rabbit, wait up.
Oh, right. I said your name earlier, didn't I? Whoops. Well, before we go in, I should preface this with why we're going in. You may not like it. You said you're having trouble with your sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems you've had contact with one half of the sword.
One half?
The light half.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever actually talked to Mizuni?
Once in Master Peter's booth.
That is... She kind of frowns a little bit. That's a tricky one, because... Sort of? But also that, you probably didn't actually talk to her?
Confused look.
Those trainings are specific in the sense that you are meeting with someone that it's important for you to meet with, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually meeting them. They may say things that are accurate to what they would say, but it's like a duplicate.
So she wasn't real?
Shakes her head a little bit. She's like, I mean, she may have said things that the actual Mizuni would have said, but I don't think that would constitute as an actual meeting.
She just looks dreadful. He's like, so I have to talk to her?
You don't have to, but if you want to talk to her in a safe environment, this is the safest place in the world to do so.
He kind of is quiet for a bit and looks like around her to the distance where that dark spot is. And he's just like, okay, I'll do it.
You see her little rabbit ears perk up at that, and she's like, right, let's go.
Follows.
I will not punish you for an NPC saying a name. I just wanted to say that. Because half the time it's just me forgetting. But also Libris is an airhead and would forget. So, like, it still fits. You quickly follow her towards that black spot, which you recall vaguely being named the Forgotten Marsh as you continue forward. And as you continue, this kind of, like, dark purple mist starts to invade the area as you go. And the trees become a lot more lanky, almost. A lot thinner. Seem to be not necessarily dead, but not as healthy as the rest of the forest that you just came from. And you continue farther in, and it gets to a point where there is more swamp and marshland that are kind of mixed together in this weird mass of these swampy, dark environments pushed into one, and there's less and less land for you to stand on. It's like you have to kind of like hop around a bit to find places to stand. And eventually you make your way into a very deep, dark pond kind of in the middle of all of this. And Libra stops and turns to you and is just like, "This is where she usually is."
It's dark in here. Why would she be here?
I'm pretty sure she's doing what she's always doing, looking for something.
Shui just kind of looks at the water and is like, "Do you think she's in there?"
Oh, definitely. And as she says this, you see almost like a bright spark of almost like lightning go underneath the surface. Oh, there she is.
Shui, he just bounces to the edge and he just kind of tries to peer into the water.
When you peer into the water, very slowly, you see the head of just this kind of like dark blue eel make its way out of the surface of the water, looking up at you with these very dark, beady black eyes, and cocks its head a bit at you. "What are you doing here?"
Shui kind of backs up a little bit. "Are you Mizuni?"
You see it kind of like slither a little bit back into the water at that. "Perhaps. What's it to you? Who are you?"
Looks at Libris, like, "Is this okay?"
She looks back to you and she's just like, "Up to you. You give as much information as you want."
Shui was quiet for a bit and then turns back towards the eel. "You tricked me and gave me a sword."
"Oh, the young sword singer. Yes, I remember you now."
He kind of flinches a bit. "And I want to know why you did that."
It kind of moves up closer again to you at that, and you see just like this long like string of electricity snake out from it as it moves forward and looks up to you. "I want you to find something for me."
"What? Something like what?" he says.
"The one who favored you originally was Winona, yes?"
"Maybe."
A little bit of an attitude. "Have you been in contact with her at all?"
Sweats. Do rabbits sweat? I don't know, but he's sweating. Maybe.
"Does that sword come with you when you go?"
Maybe. And he's just like, "I won't let you hurt her."
"Well, I don't have to hurt her, just you."
Hmm?
"I don't want you to kill her."
I can't do that.
Just a little prick with the sword. It won't take much effort."
A prank?
"No, not a prank, a prick."
Oh.
God damn
I thought this was a prank.
This is not a prank, bro.
She says, "Why would I do that?"
"Because I know that you're looking for something. Or maybe you're not looking for it anymore, but I have something you'd like to see."
Yeah? I don't believe you. You're trying to trick me again.
You see her kind of snake a little bit back into the water. "This isn't a trick. I'm offering you something that you want in exchange for something that I want."
Whatever, he says, but he's obviously, like, clearly interested. Like, what? like, his curiosity is piqued. I wouldn't say interested, but he is curious.
"Do you want to see your parents again?"
Oh, that's low. Cassie, that's low. He's like, what?
"Your parents, I can give them back."
What do you mean give them back?
"They're in my waters. If you want them back, I can return them."
So that was true? Where are they in your waters?
"What do you mean, what is true?"
That my parents drowned in your water.
It happens. It's a simple deal again. I'm not asking you to kill her. You can't kill a god anyways. That also goes for me. People can definitely die, though, and they did. But I can undo that if you just a little prick.
You can undo it?
They died in my waters, which means they are in my domain.
Let's say Labris is like, is that how that works?
She's kind of like, her ears twitching a little bit, and her eyes narrow. That can work that way, yes. That's not supposed to be what happens. And she's kind of looking at this eel, very clearly not happy with what she just said.
But Winona's my friend.
She can be your friend, and you can still just give her a little stabby stab.
What does that do for you?
Gives me access to her, that's all I need.
I
And Zen don't like this.
told you you can't kill a god, so what is the big deal?
She's quiet because he's thinking. Zen is just like, I don't want to do this. I want to leave, but I'm in character, and Shui is very gullible. So
Listen, you're not even giving me the whole piece of the puzzle here. It's just her body that's trapped up there.
what? Where is the rest of her?
I don't know. I don't care. Just want the body.
I won't do it, he says, and he's backing away. I will say that he said it like very shakily, as in like he doesn't really believe that what he just said, but he felt like he had to say it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You see kind of like, as you say that water just light up with electricity as she kind of starts to sink backwards.
Is that your final answer?
She's quiet. Quiet. He doesn't know what to say. And it's just like, there's nothing else you want.
That's all. That's all I want. Then I'll leave you alone. I won't bother you anymore.
Shui is, really. You really don't know. How will you know if I even did it?
Because that's my blade.
He doesn't respond. He's just gonna let her go.
You don't have to answer me. Just remember, you will not be able to unsheath that sword, and your parents will remain in my depths.
And she slowly sinks back into the water.
She turns to Livers, and he's just like, I don't feel too good.
Sorry, I didn't know what she was going to ask for. Or if she actually wanted anything. We can go back.
I just need to get away from here.
She kind of nods at that, and she's like, of course, like I said, we can go back. And her little rabbit form nuzzles against you. You can feel, though, like, arms kind of, like, giving you, like, a little bit of a hug. Sorry, didn't know that was going to be hard.
It's only hard because Shui is just really gullible, and it's like, I can have my parents back, I can have this bitch leave me alone, I can draw my sword. But the only thing is that he doesn't really want to risk anything bad happening to Winona. But I out of character, he'll probably end up making up his mind the next time he goes see her. Mm-hmm. Whenever that will be.
Mm-hmm. So you start heading back towards the gates that you came to. And as you are going, roll a perception check.
I rolled a 12 plus 4. What's that, 16?
Okay. Coming up directly in front of your path, you see a discarded top hat sitting in the way.
A top hat?
A top hat.
Shui's like, oh, Master Rabbit, what's that?
You see her kind of turn her head towards the area that you're pointing to, or you're gesturing to with your rabbit body. And she looks over and sees that hat and cocks her head a little bit, and she's like, that's weird.
Maybe somebody lost it. I'll go grab it. He's gonna go pounce over to the top hat.
Okay. I want you to roll a dex save real fast.
Okay. 13.
Okay. Or sorry, it was a dex check, not a save. That's my bad.
Oh, well then that would be 9.
9. Okay. Well, yeah, definitely no then. Yeah, you start to kind of go towards this hat before very rapidly it's almost pulled out of your way as you hear just like hissing start to come from the bushes as it's pulled inside.
She was like, whoa, what was that?
Libris kind of steps forward at that and is just like, heard hissing.
It sounded like a snake. And he's like trying to like peer into the bushes.
Peering in, you see 2 milky white eyes kind of staring out back at you.
Yeah, that's freaky. She says, hi, I just saw the top hat and wanted to make sure it wasn't, that nobody lost it.
You hear just like, again, that like rattling coming from the bush before very suddenly you just see this very large cobra with 2 black rings near its neck start to come out of the bushes. And at that, you hear Libris go, Peter, you scared me half to death. What the hell are you doing here? And at that, you just hear, don't tell me you were saying names while you were training a spark. And she's just like, oh, oops, there it goes. Out of my mouth again. And you see he is holding that top hat with the end of his tail.
Oh. Master, Cobra, is that yours?
He kind of looks down at it, and like you can see him like shove it back into the bush, and he's just like, like sounds very frustrated. And you see Libris kind of thumping the back of her foot nervously as he's doing that, and he quickly turns towards her at that, not answering your question, and is just like, why did you take him into the swamp? You know this is a dangerous place. And she bristles at that, and she's like, he's my trainee, and you haven't shown up twice now, and you said you were going to come. Where's Wynn? Did you come here alone? And he's just like, kind of starts to like sling back a bit into the bush at that, and he's just like, let's not have this discussion here. Were you going back? And she looks towards, and Libris looks towards you, Shui, and it's just like, we were, yes. And Peter's like, then let's go back. It's almost past curfew.
Shui just kind of looks between them.
They look both annoyed at the other.
We can go back. You don't have to be mad at each other.
Who's mad? Libris is like, her foot is just like...
She like bounces ahead and he's like, look, I'm going back right now, okay?
And Libris is like, oh, fine, yeah, let's go back. And she starts to also make her way back. And you see Peter slowly follow after, seems to have left the hat behind.
Well then. She probably forgot about the hat now, since they were arguing.
Object permanence.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah, so you guys continue back towards where those gates were, and they're still up for you. And Libris is just like, well, come on then, let's get through. And she hops through.
She hops through.
And you see those gates quickly close behind you as you go through, and Libris looks to Peter as you guys come back out and are very clearly back in your human forms, and Peter's just standing there, does not have his sword with him, but is just standing out in front of where you just went through the pond. And Libris is looking him up and down and is just like, if you want to go by yourself, that's fine, but you're supposed to have Wynn go with you. And he just is like, Wynn doesn't have to come with me every single time I go somewhere. And Libris is just like, yes, he does. And is like nodding, yes, he does. And he looks annoyed at that and is just like, and gestures towards you. It's just like, can we not have the conversation in front of the kid? And Libris puffs out her chest a bit and is just like, fine, sure, let's have it later then. Then Peter turns to start walking back towards the library. And Libris turns back to you and is just like, sorry about all that.
Shui's like, no, it's okay.
And you see behind her for a moment, those gates are still kind of flickering in and out of view. You see Nather pop back.
Hey, you two, how's it going?
Oh, Master Nether.
Just came to give a quick report.
And you see Libris turn and look over her shoulder at that, and she's like, oh, what is it now?
That black goat was spotted again.
What? Where?
In the forest, just out and about. Some people said they saw it. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
Shui just kind of looks at Libris to see her reaction.
You see she does not look happy with this information. Doesn't look particularly, like, frightened or scared or anything, just kind of, like, bothered by it. Don't know why it chose tonight to show back up, but that's fine. Just let Dara know, will you? And you see now they're kind of, like, nod his head at that.
Will do, miss. I'll be off then. You two have a good night.
Shui waves goodbye to Nether.
He waves back as well, and you see him shoot back into the sky as those gates disappear. Well, that was your training, Shui.
Shui bows her. I'm just like, thank you.
Yeah, we'll do something. I wanted to show you a bit more of the keep, but we'll do some more training. You know, the moving swords and all that. And yeah, but yeah, let's go back. Come on.
He will be shepherded along.
And you go back to the library.
Oh, I'm home.
Welcome home, son.
It is. They are just on the cusp of curfew as they come back through the door. And Libris immediately goes over to Estel.
Ah, a snitch. But yeah, so Shui gets back, and he'll go over to the party.
Welcome back, Shui.
Hi, Theo. And he smiles. He looks happy, generally, but he kind of wears, like, his emotions, like, on his face. And it looks like, yeah, he's happy, but also it looks like he's, like, preoccupied. Like, his mind is like,
Did your training go well?
Oh, he says, we went to the keep, and it was just as cool as I remember. Master Libris showed me around a little bit, and even Master Peter came.
Oh, a bit surprising.
He kind of chuckles a little bit. He's like, you'll never guess what kind of animal he was. And Theo's like, he was a cobra, wasn't he?
Oh no, a fucking snake. Just like
oh
he was
God.
past.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, he's like, oh, I'm sure he wouldn't want anyone to know who wasn't there with him.
Shui has his sword with him now, and he's just like, hey, Theo. If someone wanted you to do a favor for them, and they promised you all of these good things as a reward, would you do it? Even if you're not sure what the result would be?
What kind of favor?
Pranking a friend.
Pranking a friend?
No, I feel as if that would be a breach of trust on the friend's part. Like, even if it would turn out all well and good. Like, oh, it was just something small and it's fine. But the fact that I would have been doing something to some friend and had the benefit of someone else as a favor, I just feel as if that's sort of, I don't know, backhanded? Is that the right term? It would feel sour, dishonest, disingenuous, not good.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, even if the reward might be really, really enticing, I would feel too guilty about whatever prank. I don't do well with doing something like that.
Well, thank you, Thea.
Right, of course. Theo kind of scratches his chin a little, and he's like, so part of your training is to prank someone?
Oh, no, that was just, an example. Master Libris wanted to help me figure out or get in contact with the other side of my sword.
Right, it talks, right?
Mm-hmm. Master Arthur heard it, but
Oh.
Master Libris says there's 2 sides to it, and that I've only talked to one. And if I want to be able to draw my sword, I have to talk to the other too. But the other side is the one I don't like.
Oh, well. Good luck with that then. It seems like a complicated issue.
Yeah. My head hurts.
Well, it's basically curfew. I'm sure you can get away with going to bed early.
And he's like, yeah. He's gonna try to kind of start to dry himself off. I think I will.
Yeah, well, rest well then.
He smiles. And he's like, I'll try.
Have another interesting dream, you know. The, seeing the world. Something nice.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, something nice.
You all go to sleep. Very uneventful night of sleep. I would note before you go to sleep, you can see Estel and Peter both going up the steps. Estel just clearly talking his ear off as he goes, and he does not appear to be having any of it as they go into the study. That's the only really, a little drama of the night that seems to be happening. Everyone else goes to sleep, and the next morning, Theo, you wake up bright and early to someone shaking your shoulder.
Huh?
Theo.
Yeah, what? Huh?
You see Arthur kind of next to you, shaking you.
Oh, gosh, it's Arthur. Yeah, okay. Hello.
He gives you a smile, and he's like, come on, let's go do your training.
Okay. Cause I imagine he's still been sharing a blanket with Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just give him, I imagine Brandy's still asleep, but Theo will give him like a kiss on the forehead and then go on.
Okay, yeah. He quickly leads you upwards towards that small study that Brandy and Estel had been in before, taking a bunch of chalk with him. It's like, we're just going to do it in here. We'll pop out at a different spot, but it should be fine.
Right. The circles.
Yeah. This whole compound is still a part of the lab, so it should work. And he starts to lean down, and he's like, here, come here. And he kind of reaches up for you to sit down next to him.
Right. Okay.
And take this chalk. He hands you a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to just make some symbols. Just copy what I do. We're not going to use your circles, so don't worry. But just try and copy what I do. And he starts to draw.
I suppose I roll for this.
Yeah, you can roll, I'll say an intelligence check because it's based on memory and copying.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah.
21.
Damn, yeah. You go through kind of making these strides and these little marks and things, and it is a very intricate circle, you notice. Several times, Arthur stops and is just wait, was it this one? Oh, yes, this one. And it'll keep going. And eventually he stops and kind of just and just wipes off the excess chalk and looks over towards yours, and he's like, not bad. Almost an exact copy.
Good. I think, yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely good. We're still gonna use mine just because I've had more practice.
Yeah, I mean, you said that don't want to do it incorrectly, and I wouldn't want to.
Oh, yes, of course not. But also, it's gonna take you some time to get the correct
magical prowess to be able to do it on your own. You're a ranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have magical capabilities, but this is more wizard, sorcery kind of magic, so it'll be a little trickier for you. But if it's just this specific circle and these specific circumstances, I feel like we can do some wiggle room there.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay, so come with me. Remember, we stand on top, and he starts to stand on the circle.
Right. He joins.
And then, again, I'm going to do it this time, but you just want to focus your mind as strongly as you can with moving. It's hard to describe it. Moving forward, but also staying in place.
So you're saying moving forward in time, but staying in this place on the planet.
Correct. Good way of putting it.
Of course. I'll try that.
It takes time, it takes practice, sometimes you end up in the wrong spot. The main thing is we want to get to the point where the lab was built. So, if you don't go far enough, it can create some problems. If you go too far, the lab isn't there anymore, and that's also problematic. So, you have to get in the little time span with where it was built, and once we're in the lab, we can also change the settings around from there. But we have to get to the lab first. He's just rambling on at this point. And as he does so, you feel yourself kind of gently, not necessarily lift up, but almost just your hair kind of frizz a little bit as this circle starts to light up beneath him as he's talking. And just whoop, as you go through, you pop out in the laboratory on the other side.
Whew. Huh. Well, we're there. I mean,
we did it. Look at that. Sorry, second nature at this point. Just here we are talking about it.
Yeah, I was gonna picture it in my head, but then we're just here now, so.
Yeah. Well, good practice for next time then.
Right. And what are we going to do now that we're here then?
Well, I definitely wanted to have a conversation with you in general now that we're here. And he's stepping off this platform leading into the laboratory.
Theo follows. Does his clothes change again?
They do, same as Arthur's. And he starts to walk deeper into the laboratory at that. And it's just hold on. I need to be sure we set the correct timer if we're going to be spending some time here. Like I said, I've spent decades without realizing it, but he glances over his shoulder at you. You'd probably notice that much faster than me.
I suppose I would.
You see him go up to one of those glowing screens on the wall, tap it a few times. You hear just kind of some sounds as he's tapping on it, and appears to set a timer. That box in the corner does not appear to be going off, but is still there.
Lots of magic around here. Do you have to use your own every time? Is it that draining?
This actually isn't magic.
No, it certainly looks like it to me.
Magic is interesting in the sense that, yes, two people at one point, and you're a good example of that, this would be considered magic, I suppose, but it is made with no arcanic energy. It's made with something else.
All right. Okay. So, powered by some non-arcane magic.
Exactly. This, in particular, is powered by a mixture of wind and solar energy.
Oh, okay. That, didn't make sense, I would think. Anything needs something to power it, really.
Far distant into the future, there are devices that are created that are able to harness energy from the sun and from the wind. And that is what we built this facility to be able to use.
That is very interesting.
Well, you know how coal is used, right? It's kind of that same sort of...
Of course.
And he smiles at that, and he's just you'll learn that there are a lot of things outside of just magic to the world.
Again, it makes sense. Everything needs something to power it. Just like how I'm powered by food.
A good comparison. Now that we're in a little bit more of a private place, I wanted to have a little bit of a further conversation with you with some of the things that we talked about.
Right. Actually, here, he brings out a journal and a pencil, and he's like, so I don't get confused.
Of course. Take as many notes as you'd like.
He nods.
So I told you the reason that I wanted to pick you was because of your training with Peter specifically.
Specifically the strange multiple-eyed being that I may or may not have known in the...
Don't think about that part too hard. It said some things that are a little concerning.
Yeah. I mostly took it as the nonsense because it was just training for fears and stuff, so I mostly wasn't paying attention to really what it said. I didn't want to give it any power.
Of course. Hate to break it to you, and he's like looking at you. You kind of met a big one in that situation. So that's a little whew.
So what? No, wait. Go back. What do you mean by that?
Well, he kind of looks around a little bit, and he's just like, we could go into a lot of details about the structure of the universe and how things are, and the tiers of like deities and gods and beings and all that. The easiest way to put it is you met a very high level god? ?
And I... Oh boy, I wish I could go back and tell myself not to be such an idiot.
Oh, you're fine. I've actually met that one before too. And you see he reaches into his back pocket and he pulls out a red seed.
Oh, the fate seed. He brings out his own from his pocket because he carries it everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Arthur looks and he's just like, yes, I got one too when I went to the keep for the first time. I never planted it. Never put down roots anywhere, I guess.
I had some ideas, but mostly for fun. I don't really believe it'll work. He puts it back in his pocket.
Well, I don't think I could plant it even if I wanted to. And he puts it back in his pocket too.
What do you mean?
I've told you a little bit about that. I'm not here, sort of.
Oh, right. You're outside of reality.
Reality time. That's one way to put it.
But there were multiple times, right?
Yes.
So multiple.
I haven't experienced all of them yet, but one day I probably will.
Ooh, how many are there?
As the I one, I guess we'll refer to it that way, told you, millions.
Yeah, right. And you want to visit all of them?
I don't want to visit all of them, but I have an unlimited amount of time to do so.
Why unlimited?
You see him kind of like twiddle his thumbs a little bit at that. He's like, I'm a little stuck. Didn't choose this. I just kind of, I stuck my hand in some places I probably shouldn't and got stuck.
So is your time clock stopped?
Yes, mine is.
Well, that happened to me.
Depends. You got a training that is interesting, something that I actually can relate to quite a bit.
What do you mean?
You were told that you were going to fall, yes?
I mean, by the... Oh, he was real, right. By the thing, what do I call it?
He kind of looks you up and down for a moment. He's thinking to himself, and he's just like, I could test this. I could try to tell you.
If it's especially dangerous, I don't... Is there, like, a nickname, perhaps?
A nickname? I can give it a nickname. Why don't we call it the Watcher?
The Watcher. Okay, He writes that down and puts, like, an equals eye monster. And he's like, okay, so the Watcher, I met the Watcher, and I keep forgetting it was real. And he said a lot of things, a lot of things. I guess he said I would fall, but I wasn't really I mean, it just, the idea of becoming a chosen one, it just seemed so...
It's daunting, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, how could it not be? It's still not something I fully expect to happen to me. I don't feel like I would become something that important, so...
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, it just wasn't really in my head when he said it, so I didn't really ask any questions further, but...
It was a scary meeting, and I'm pretty sure the intent was to intimidate you. So,
oh boy,
he did it.
He definitely I'm intimidated. But he said, how will you fall this time, I think.
Yes, I've been...
Do I? Wait, so wait, the other times, that means there's more of me and everyone?
Yes. Like I said, I've never met you before, though. That's why this is interesting.
So, but that means if he said, and he's the Watcher and is real, and he said, how am I going to fall this time? That means I've become a chosen one before and I've fallen before.
Yes, that's correct.
I don't want that to happen.
Of course. I didn't want it to happen either.
I don't want to make some sort of terrible mistake. I want to be a good person. I don't even want to be a chosen one and become fallen from that. I don't. I just want to be normal, you know? I mean, the universe is it's amazing and incredible, and of course I'm interested in learning everything about it, but I don't want to become important to it.
He's kind of nodding along at this as you continue, and he's just like, well, we can't stop fate, can we?
No, but we can wish that it could go a different path. Can't really change it.
I mean, I don't think we can stop fate from occurring. If we're given enough chances, I believe we can change it, though.
But that's what fate would be anyway. It's not like we're changing anything.
I'd like to think I've changed a lot.
Well, perhaps, but that's what you were intended to do anyway, then.
It's a very sad way of thinking about it.
It feels like the obvious way.
If you consider fate to be unchangeable, then, in that sense, maybe that's how you fall.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Sounds like you're a little resigned to it.
I'm not resigned, per se. I mean, maybe.
If it is your fate to do so, and you actively don't believe you can change it, then maybe that's why it always happens. Because you can just write off every experience as something that's supposed to happen.
Yes, but whatever I choose is what was meant to be chosen, so I can choose to not go the path that I think I'm supposed to.
Kind of thinking, nodding along with that too. I'm not here to change your beliefs or your ideas of the world or anything, Theo. I'm just here to help, and I feel like of the mentors here, I had the best understanding of this.
Right. So, what were you going to help with today?
I would like to help you go against your fate, Theo, even if you don't believe that's possible, because maybe by doing that, we can go against a lot of different fates that need to change.
Well, I'm willing to try anything that's in the intentions are for good outcomes.
Of course. I've been looking into it a bit more. I think the reason I haven't met you before is because this is the first time you appear. And I haven't experienced the ones after that, is my best guess.
So... What do you mean the first time I appear?
Sometimes things get changed a little bit more than others. And things move into place in a way where there are some anomalies, people who existed who didn't before. And this happens to just be one of those.
Right. If there are millions of realities, of course I wouldn't exist in every one.
So, I think maybe something that I've done in the last few, or something that's changed in the last few, resulted in this outcome, which means, in my mind, we're making progress.
Progress to what?
To changing things.
Well, what's needed to be changed?
A lot of things.
What things? Is there something really wrong?
He kind of looks around a little bit at that, and he's just like, you know there is a beginning and an end to everything, yes?
I've had long thoughts about that, yes.
Well, there is a certain point in history where the end is stopped or halted, I guess is the best way to put it. And that sounds like it would be a great thing. It would be, the things would never end, but we can't move on to the next thing if we're stalled.
Can't read the next story if you don't close the last.
It's a good way to put it.
Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't I wouldn't exist at the end of all things, so...
It's a little bit bigger than just you and me.
Yeah. I suppose that is the nature of reality itself, so...
This point in history is when something very important happens, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly... I have ideas. There's definitely one really important thing that happens, but there's other things outside of that.
What's the important thing?
It's one of those things I don't think I'd be able to tell you.
Right. I hope it's a good thing.
Don't know if I can say. But I believe that's not the only thing that occurs around this period. This is where the most anomalies tend to pop up, the most changes seem to occur that change the structure of everything, which makes sense. It's the beginning. But I'm still trying to figure out what it is.
Oh, yeah. Saying it's the beginning, it's so weird.
This is the beginning. The world's only existed a few hundred years at this point.
Yeah, but that's a few hundred years. It's a long time.
It is a long time, but this book, I guess, as you would put it, is almost 10,000 in the total.
Right. Keep forgetting how vast it is. I spend half my life looking up at the stars and wondering about the universe. Now I'm given everything that I could have ever dreamed of learning, and...
It comes with a catch.
I can't even... Yeah.
But yes, a long time ago, as I told you before, someone from the far distant future came to me and showed me the wonders of the universe, the vastness of time, and my role in all of that. And he kind of frowns a bit at that, and he's just like, let's just say it wasn't a chance meeting, it was more of an intervention, and that's what I'm trying to be for you.
Someone intervened into what path you were on?
I apparently did not end up a good person, or maybe I was, but went around it in the wrong way. I was certainly far from how innocent I was when this all started, when Zyrie met me.
Right.
So...
Did he tell you about everything?
He told me about some of it. Apparently he was also trying to fix things that had happened like I'm doing now. Not quite to my extent. He's not as into it. But, also seems to be busy with other things outside of this, but he showed me what my future was supposed to be, and I tried so hard to undo it that this happened, and he kind of gestures to himself.
You stopped.
I stopped.
You tried so hard to not become that thing you were shown, and so you just stopped.
I believe so, yes. There is, unfortunately, me being outside of time the way that I am, the other versions still exist and still continue in their own ways. It's a paradox. It's interesting in that way.
Still more of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, I hope that doesn't happen to me. I am currently happy with the time frame, zone, the point in time that I'm in, you know?
Yes, and I would like, obviously, for that not to happen to you. Getting stuck is not fun.
How long have you been stuck?
He, looks like he's trying to count in his head. With all the repeats and things, maybe 8,000-9,000 years.
Oh. Wow. How are you doing?
The first few thousand were hard. It got easier. Again, with time.
So, are you okay?
As okay as you can be.
Hmm.
But that is me, and we are here for you. And I think the way that Zairi went about it wasn't great. It could use some tweaking. He only showed me one possible future, and I had to figure out all of the different ways to not get there on my own, which led to this again. I would like to help you, like I said, but I believe the person who would be able to help you and know exactly what to avoid the most would be yourself. And he's kind of gesturing over towards the blue glass.
The blue glass?
Yeah, the big blue containers that you were in last time.
So you want to test me again?
Not test you. I'd like to get a blueprint.
Oh, what does that mean?
A blueprint for your current, time code, I guess.
What do you use it for? What is the...
To be able to contact different versions that match up with your blueprint.
I don't know. That sounds, not very... I don't like the sound of that, Mr. Arthur.
Well, how do you know how you're going to fall if you don't have the chance to ask?
I guess I'm very curious on different versions of my fate, but it's not like they're my fate.
Could possibly be yours. There are repeats in history as well.
Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, well, if I do this now, how soon do I...
It will take some time to stabilize and be able to properly match up, and of course we want to make sure that there is no overlap and they don't permanently come here or anything like that, but just a matchup.
Is that all it'll be used for?
Just that, of course. I will make sure that they always stay within the containers. You will be able to talk to them, but we'll never allow them out, and essentially...
Wait. That seemed... So they come here...
Yes?
Is it really them? And they go? Do they go back?
I'll send them back, yes.
Will it be a terrible experience?
He looks at you and is just like, modify memory is a hell of a spell.
Oh. So...
Cassidy, I fucking hate Arthur. What a piece of shit. Fuck this dude. God.
So hypothetically, we've had this exact conversation 10,000 times, and myself, I have been taken to other ones as well, and they just have a modified memory spell on me. That's so you're telling me that?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in those universes. Like I said, you're the first one.
Okay, well, that's so good to know. But you didn't answer, so it will be bad.
It doesn't have to be bad. They might be confused. If you'd like, I can adjust the settings so it's not a confusing experience.
Maybe make it like something nice, like something, I don't know, like it's a dream or something, like a nice dream.
I can work with that. If you want, you can even disguise yourself.
Okay, what would I disguise myself as?
Doesn't matter. I mean, if you're worried about it being a jarring experience, just anything.
I mean, it might be me, but it's still another person to me right now. I wouldn't want to put someone through something unfortunate.
We can make as many adjustments as you'd like to make it a pleasant experience.
Okay, all right.
And if you don't want to do it, we don't have to.
It just seems... I mean, I'm scared, but it's just... It seems like such an opportunity. I don't know. The strange wording, but...
Again, I feel like the person who knows you the best would be you. I could give you as much advice as I could about how I've tried to change things or how I've made adjustments, but I don't think it would matter because that's me and you're you.
Right. I don't... It's scary, but if it could help me be a good chosen one, if I become that, it might be something I have to do.
Well, why don't we get your blueprint today, and we can decide next time if we want to move forward.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Does it hurt?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay. Alright. Okay. He goes in.
Okay, yeah.
He's shaking a little.
Yeah, he opens the glass for you as you step inside, and he starts, hitting different buttons and things like that as the blue mist kind of lifts you up again as he's hitting things. And it's a very strange sensation that you feel. It's almost like you are floating upwards and downwards at the same time, but not like moving at all. It just feels like this pressure almost pushing you both ways, and it feels like you're moving, but also staying in the same place. As he's continuing to press buttons and things for a few moments. And you see around you all of the blue tubes kind of light up and flicker with like strange figures standing within them for a while, looking to be about your height, and you can kind of see them. They all seem to have their eyes closed and not looking anywhere in general before the machines quickly turn off and Arthur opens the door for you to come back out. Okay, I think I made good progress with that attempt. Obviously we will not do all at once, that would be horrible, but I have the prints.
Theo looks horrified, actually.
Are you okay?
I feel like... that... I don't know, He kind of looks like he's about to cry, actually. It's weird, but...
It's fine. Like I said, we don't have to move forward with it if you don't want to. And you have time to think about it.
It just... I didn't expect to see them there and floating in front of me and just being like asleep there.
It was just getting the blueprints from other timelines. They weren't conscious or anything.
They're not They're just, it's just...
Echoes.
Okay.
They weren't here.
Alright. Okay. Alright, well... are we done?
We are. That's all I needed to do with you for today.
Okay. Okay. I am ready to go, then.
We can go back then. I hope we can create a future that both of us can be proud of.
I hope the future is good as well.
I'm here crying out for you, so you'll find me at last and wipe away our past. Even now, falling towards something beyond this new script. The show starts without stars. I'm here crying out for you, so you'll find me at last and wipe away our past. Even now, falling towards something beyond this new script. This show starts without stars.